Hey, welcome. If you are coming over from the unboxing video, welcome. Thank you for sticking around for part two. If you're skipping the unboxing video and coming straight here, that's fine. No big deal. This is the probably the most important part for folks. They want to know how it works on the rig, what the driving experience is like, what the racing experience is like. So this may be a little more informative and intuitive as far as helping you to make a decision if the RS wheel is something you're interested in. Wish I had a CS wheel so I could do a side-by-side comparison. Hoping to get one in the next couple of weeks, maybe a couple of months. And then I can go back and kind of do a side-by-side and let you folks know what I think. That being said, I am a Moza affiliate, but I buy all this gear myself. They don't send me anything. They don't pay me for this. This is something I like to do just for you folks out there that are trying to make decisions, especially about a newer company. Moza Racing hasn't been around quite as long as some of the bigger names that people are familiar with. And so hopefully this is good information for you. And without further ado, we'll get right into it. All right, so as you can see, we got the wheel set up now. We're going to look in the Pithouse software real quick. I changed a couple settings in the, pardon me, in the base settings because I'm going to be doing some dirt racing. So I feel like I need a little bit of different settings there than what I typically use. But as you can see on the screen here, wheels lined up perfectly. Go through, check all the buttons. They all appear to be working just fine. It does have the same button combination options where you can change inside the Pithouse software. I don't know how well that's showing up. It's kind of small. But you can instantly change. So like if I wanted to go to 360, for some reason I wanted 360, I hold down my left clutch and then I press in the menu rocker. So that would go 360. And then to go back to 900, it's there and then my traction control knob. Not super intuitive there, but it's easy enough to figure out. So if you watch the bottom left of the screen, we should go now 360. So down here, we're at 360 degrees, and then we'll go over here to the T-con knob, release, and that goes back to 900, which is where we want it to be. So horn button even works. Don't have that bound to anything yet. I bound a couple buttons already. I'm gonna have to rebind them here for the winged. Just wanted to show you guys the Pithouse. Exactly the same as with the GS wheel, so nothing special there. But you know, it's yeah, it's good, solid software. You know, you can obviously watch everything go around. And then if we go into the wheel base itself, in the advanced settings, it's automatically automatically detecting my RS steering wheel for the hands-off protection. If I turn that off, it doesn't choose it. I don't see an option for the CS wheel on here, and I don't know if that hasn't been built into the software yet. But for the hands-off protection, that's the oscillations where you let go of the wheel and it starts and you try to grab it, you know, and it jerks one way and breaks your thumb or whatever. So that's what that feature does. Force feedback. The only thing I changed, I lowered a little bit of this 80-kilometer riding on curves just for the dirt racing stuff, and I may leave it for my GT3 settings as well. Just some of that, just kind of a nuisance. Not necessarily super helpful all the time. So same thing here, axis combine. So pull both of them. There's your 50%, and then you slowly release to let it out. So if you can see how slowly I release here, and same here, and then you'll see it go away. Or we can do axis split. So either one of them work, or we can treat them as individual buttons. So that's a button, that's a button. So axis combine if you're going to be using it at all. And then you can actually change your bite point. So right now it's at 50%. But let's say I needed it higher for some reason, like this other clutch isn't going to let go all the way. Oh, right there, now I'm at 60%, and I'll slowly let out. But I think 50% is generally what people are going to want to use. So we'll just leave it there. I don't have any real reason to change it. I don't drive enough stuff with clutch anyway. Stick modes, are they a button or are they a D-pad? I don't really know what the difference is. Still seems to work the same way. Maybe just the way that different sims recognize it. Engine RPM indicator. This is a big one that a guy recently on Facebook had a lot of issue with, and so it's good to look at and know. You actually want to have RPM indicator selected. So right now you see it's blinking solid. His would always do that in the game. What happened was he had switched it to on, and so it would just stay lit like this the whole time. Off, you get nothing. So if you find that to be a distraction, just turn it off here. I like the RPM indicator because I like to see it flashing, particularly with GT cars. so that I know I'm approaching or near my shift point. And then you have two different modes. Mode 1, it's going to be this RGB slowly lights up. So green, yellow, red, all the way to violet, and then starts flashing. Mode 2, let me turn it back to RPM indicator. Mode 2, it's going to go one color at a time. So it's going to start with what I have, teal, and then purple, blue, green, all the way up. I'm sorry, it's green, red, purple. So I'll get all my greens, and they'll flash red, and then it will flash purple, and stay solid purple, and start flashing purple. Agent RPM timing indicator, I have it on late. That seems to work pretty well for me. And of course, you can adjust the brightness up and down. So as I adjust that, you can actually, I don't know how you can see that with all this light in the background. But it does get brighter. I can confirm that. Just visually, I can see it. Another setting that is new, I'm trying to remember where it is. Is it in the base itself? Maybe in these extra settings over here. Let's look. Not going to be there. Not going to be there. Experimental function. iRacing indicator mode. RPM mode, you control the timing of the steering wheel indicators by setting the RPM prompts. Original mode is the timing. The timing of the steering wheel indicator light will be synchronized with the indicator light in the game. Will not be affected by RPM prompts. So that's just for iRacing. You can swap that back and forth. There's another thing in here for Horizon. If you play Forza Horizon, I think. I don't know. I don't use it. So, but I'm on the newest software for everything. And so that's it for Pithouse. Pretty simple. I do have a race tonight in iRacing. So we're gonna, if I can find it. Oh, you gotta hit the test drive button, Josh. So we'll have to just sit here for a second while we wait on them to actually load in. But while we're doing that, we can look back at Pithouse for now. You'll notice they have the pedals down here. And then they also have over on the side the configurations for all your games. So I have iRacing and ACC configured, but F122 doesn't configure for some reason. Now, granted, I'm not going to be driving it anytime soon, but it's there. You see all the other games, F121, Assetto Corsa, Euro Truck Simulator, all those are supported. The dash screen over here, I don't have the dash. I think I would like it if I used it, but I can't really do anything here. But this is the one that a lot of people seem to like. Custom dashes are not a thing just yet, but they will be in the future. And I think people are really going to like that. So I'll just check. Steering wheel works. Gearbox up and down. There's our clutch. Right, so go remap these buttons real quick just to make sure. I glance left, glance right. Okay. Because the buttons are a little bit different. I'm now using button 32 instead of button 34. Done. Why is my wheel force so low? That's interesting. Bump that back up. Oh, and I turn the wheel range to 1080. That's going to be interesting. I want to see what happens there. I'm going to leave that at 1080 because that's what I was doing with my formula wheel. And it seemed to be okay, but I want to see how different it is with this and if I need to go back to 900. So let's go back to some of our controls. Ignition, different button. Starter, different button. Tear off visor, hugely important. Brake bias, go up here. We'll go down there. Done. Rear wing set, we're going to map this to our TC button. Because you can adjust the wings in these cars, which is really nice when you need a little bit of extra rear downforce. All right, next black box there, previous here. I'm going to have a few extras that I don't use, and that's okay. It's not a big deal right now. And we'll just use the green button down here for that. Not super duper worried about anything else, but it would be nice. I'm probably buying a push to talk and like a mute, something like that. So we want to change it to, no, we don't want to change it. What is this called even? Williams Grove. So first laps at Williams Grove. Yeah, let's just get right into it. FOV looks wrong. The other thing I noticed is having the extra bit at the top, the way my monitor sits, it kind of covers some stuff up. And so I'm going to have to adjust some things that I wasn't necessarily planning on changing. So there's our wing position. See there? And watch it actually move. You watch the top of the screen here. Watch it slide in and out like a slide on an RV. So start on 0. No adjustment there at all. Driving FOV looks fine. A little high. We're gonna change our driver height because honestly, I don't need to in these cars see the gauges. So I can pump it up right here and I have a better kind of view. Like the wheel is right there where my wing is. And I might even be able to go one higher. Then I kind of lose some of the horizon. So we'll just start right there. And yeah, let's go drive a couple laps at, what is this? Williams Grove. So shifters, nice. I got reverse and first. Looks like I don't need a neutral. So we'll just go right out. We got it set on 1080 for the rotation. 900 on the base. So that's probably wrong on my part. I'm already losing the back end. I have to get used to this. Everything's different. This should be flat out around here. Not like that, it's not. I don't know what the right line is. Obviously, if I'm losing RPMs, I'm slowing down more than I need to. But yeah, I'm just holding the pedal flat down right now. There's going to be the low line there, kind of. Yeah, I'm going to kill somebody doing this. That wasn't terrible. Yeah, this is way more enjoyable than using my Formula wheel, I can tell you that. Oh, cooked it a little bit there on the exit. Tear off button's nice and handy right there by my thumb. Oh, alright, stay out of the wall, Josh. I'm getting a little too sideways here. But yeah, this is a much more enjoyable experience, having the bigger wheel. Smaller inputs. I don't feel like I'm fighting as hard to keep the car, you know, in a line. Granted, I'm not super duper good at this, but... Oh, full spin. All right, let's take some wing back, get some rear downforce going. See what I set it on. I just kind of guessed there. 7, that's probably too high. I do have damage off just for this test drive until I can do some practice where I'm not going to be talking. I tend to run the high line mainly because I don't know what I'm doing and I want to be out of people's way so that they can run the low line if they want to. Yeah, this is not great. I think we started last week at the round 3 on the wing. Start there again. Oh, that might be an okay line there. Did have to lift a little mid-corner. I'm trying to tell how different these two corners are. Yeah, see, it's a little too much there. I need to kind of loosen that up a bit, maybe. But overall, this is a night and day as far as what it feels like to actually drive the car. I had right shoulder surgery a few years ago. Silly accident at work where I fell, shredded every ligament in the shoulder. So my right shoulder tends to start to hurt first when I'm driving, and by now my shoulder would have been already hurting last week. I'm starting to feel a little pressure, but it's not hurting like it was last time. So I think the bigger rim and it being round, I think is going to make a huge difference. It's also helpful if this is a longer track. This is a half-mile track, and last week was a 0.37, I think, so almost 4/10 of a mile. So a little bit shorter. We were at I-55. But yeah, this is all brand new to me. This will be my second dirt race. And we'll try to upload some dirt race commentary and video at the end of the video. Yeah, so far so good, man. Like this feels really nice. It's just a matter of me getting used to learning a new discipline in racing, not doing stuff like that and killing people. I'm well off the pace, but this is a group of mostly older, more mature guys, and so I'm not quite as worried. I just work on my back marker tactics of staying out of the way. There's no blue flags, but last thing you want to do is take out a leader or be in their way. But yeah, I think maybe a couple more hours of this and I'll be in a decent groove. Kind of getting a feel for everything now, but yeah, night and day difference from the GS GT wheel to this for dirt racing. Probably try to do some Miata content as well. I think this will be better for the Miatas as well. Tell you what I want to do. Let's do this real quick. So that all feels kind of nice, but I have a discrepancy between the base and the game. So let's fix that real quick and see what, if anything, the difference is. Because it may be that I'm just making it up. And there's my homemade livery. Bunch of Oklahoma companies. Just got to fooling around at lunch, or I guess while I was eating breakfast the other day, and just something clean and easy. Kind of proud of that livery. I did okay on it. Options. Let's go to steering and let's recalibrate this. So get the full beans on it here. Back to center. That looks about right. Okay, 90 degrees to the left as always. Looks close enough. Done. Done. All right, so we're not going to change anything else. We're just going to jump right back in and drive for a little bit. And oh, I just realized you guys are looking at the top of my mic. That's great. Good work, Josh. You're a pro's pro. The other cool thing about this is don't really use the left foot. It's all gas. So move the mic just a little bit, and away we go. All right, so we were still on the 3-wing. The only thing we changed is the steering degrees of rotation in the game. It felt nice leaving the pits. We can take the low line this time. That ain't gonna work. I'm gonna kill somebody like that. A little wider. Try the apex later, maybe. Turns almost squared off right there. But yeah, 900 degrees, that's where it's at. I mean, matching the game to the base, always the best option. I forgot that I had changed that last week. Just trying stuff out. I don't know how to drive dirt. Like I'm just learning. So just thought maybe it'd be better with that other wheel. The other thing I might do is add a little bit of offset to the wheel. You can see how far I have to hold it to the left on the straight. That was a bad exit there. But yeah, man. So far so good. I'm pretty happy. Now, is this going to be the right wheel for everyone, just to be able to do, Friday nights with your buddies and the occasional oval? I don't know that I'd tell everybody to go spend 500. I'd probably say for most people the CS wheel is going to be just fine, and it runs 280. The only difference between the two is if you use my affiliate link and my promo code, you can get $50 off a $500 order or more if you use the code Zoom Racing at checkout. Also, right now, it's not directly affiliated with Will Ford, but if you order from Darren Ganji and the guys at Sim Motion, if you use boosted media, or just boosted, sorry, just the word boosted at checkout, I think I got $25 off my order, so basically covered my shipping from Washington to Oklahoma. So something to look at. Save yourself a couple bucks. So for me, it ended up making the difference to where I was willing to spend the extra 200 to get the better wheel, to have the clutch paddles, have the extra size. I believe the other one's a smaller diameter up here. And I can't drive and talk, but at least maybe this is a little bit entertaining for you guys. But yeah, so I've got at least 3 free buttons. So these two, and these 2 buttons up here, your 2 D-pads are also buttons. So there's more functions if I needed to. If I wanted to use those for like a push to talk, I can do that. I've got my glance set up, which, you know, stare at the wing, bro. But yeah, super awesome wheel. Not much more I can say about it. We'll do a little kind of outro, and like I said, we'll try to throw some racing in here for you. But yeah, for me, I haven't found anything I don't like about it. Obviously, there's always stuff that we could be like, well, if it did this. One of my complaints on the GS wheel was having some extra functionality of having these D-pads be a funky switch as well. So it actually works as another rotary. But again, those are minor things. For dirt tracks and ovals, I'm not so worried about the throw. I mentioned the spacers. You don't do a lot of shifting here. Now, if I did get into ovals, I'd have to decide, do I want a shifter, you know, down here, or do I want to keep using the clutch paddles? I'm used to the clutch paddles, but does it take some of the realism out? Yeah, but I'm also sitting in my bedroom, you know, looking out at my backyard and my pool. So some of the realism's already gone anyway. But all in all, I think it's a great wheel. It's definitely good for the money. Same price as the GS wheel, but with less functionality. But you do get a bigger wheel, you get more wheel, it's thicker. One of the things that Barry Rowland mentioned in his review was that there was some flex to it. I don't feel that. So I don't know if they've just changed it here. I got a little bit this way, but you're never going to be driving, you know, this way. So I mean, it's obvious there's not going to be support here. There's no vertical bar there. So that does move a little bit. So if you're one of them that's up here, you know, at 11 and 1 driver, and you're a pusher, yeah, you're going to feel that. But, you know, most of us are going to be right in this area here. And if you're a pusher, yeah, it's a little bit. If you're a puller, I mean, that's more, I think that's more my rig flexing than anything. Yeah, it's a little bit of wheel flex. But down here, man, just solid as can be. Like, I'm having to really torque on it to get it to move that much. Same thing down here at the bottom. I got to torque on it to get it to move. So, all in all, I'm happy. I have no complaints. I think it's a great wheel. Reduced functionality, but it has everything I need for what I wanted it for, and I think that most of you will find the same. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Let me know if there's something I left out that you'd like me to add to the review. Here in a couple months, I'm going to do another full review of the base with all my thoughts, my settings changes, what I've discovered I like and don't like. Also do a re-review of the GS wheel, which they now call the GS GT wheel. Moza now has a full-on formula wheel, which looks very similar to the GS wheel, but it's got a screen in it now, which is going to be very interesting for some people. I'm wondering what the price point's going to be on that, because with both of these being $500, you add that screen, and I believe it's slightly larger. I have a feeling that's going to be a very expensive wheel. It's going to be a lot more than folks are wanting to spend for this ecosystem, unless they're going with the R16, the R21, the larger base. Yeah, so I don't know what to think about that, but it's very interesting. So we'll see what happens. They have a big announcement coming up in a couple of days. I may do a short video talking about the announcement. It's the 5 is all they're saying right now. So I wonder if they're releasing a reduced power base that's at 5 Newton meters. The 5 means something. PS5 compatibility. I don't know. We'll see. I know a lot of the folks that I've been talking to about console compatibility and stuff are very curious about that. I don't have those answers. I don't work for Moza. I don't work with Moza. I'm an affiliate, and that's about it. I bought all this out of my own pocket through SimMotion because that's the fastest for me as far as delivery, and so it worked out nicely both times for me. I bought from SimMotion 3 times, so I fully endorsed. Great company to deal with for sure. But that's it for this. I appreciate you guys stopping by. Leave us a like, subscribe, leave some comments, questions, and tell me what I can do better next time around. And thanks for watching. See ya. All right, so as promised, we are going to go through some race footage from Friday night's race, my second time doing some dirt track racing. This first part, there's a little bit of commentary between myself and Duncan McCamick. It's both of us the first time at this track. He had the wrong setup on. He had last week's setup from I-55, and so I think he had a little bit of difficulty at first. But I think once we got into it, it was a little more fun. One thing I need to keep an eye on up there at the top of the screen, you see my force feedback kind of clipping out into the red. So I need to keep an eye on that and do a better job of managing that. See if maybe there's a setting I need to change here. So the main thing I was trying to do here during this practice session was try to run the high line a little bit, try to understand where I could put the car to kind of keep out of the mess. Like say you see this guy come down inside, do a little slide job on me. Just want to make sure that we stayed out of any potential incidents as much as possible, and try to do a little bit of extra to try to maximize points, maximize finish, and just see what we could do. So just kind of learning the track still. Wheel obviously finally had it set up and working nicely. You see a little bit of slide there, but so far the wheel does exactly what I was hoping it was going to do. It's yeah, I have no complaints. There you see Duncan Mechanic in the yellow W machine. And so three of us are going to kind of go in here like almost like it's a race scenario here. The second race of the night had run a little bit long, so car exiting the pits there. So now we're going to have four of us out on track because we're waiting on the guys that were running the limited late models. We were waiting for them to finish up. They ran a little bit long, and yeah, just getting some practice in, running some laps. Here in a couple minutes, I think Duncan and I finally figured out we wanted to try to run the high line more. And the way this lobby is set up, it rolls from practice to quali to race. So we kind of thought, maybe we can run a little bit of high line here in practice, kind of open that up for ourselves early, and nobody else will really know about it but the two of us because we were in the same voice call together. And so we'll just watch a few more laps here, and maybe we'll go ahead and move to quali.
Fellas, my apologies. First two races ran way long. Broadcast is currently in commercials. So stay on the track. We'll give, we got about 4.5 minutes, and we'll do like a 2-second driver's meeting. You guys know all the rules, and we will get underway. Thank you for your patience. My apologies. We'll get this race in here momentarily.
All right, that's Joe Halter from Got Your Six Racing Network and Friday Night Lights. He's the organizer and Discord owner, league owner. Really super good dude, and yeah, just all around really cool. Practicing going to the pits here, speeding again. Again, just getting used to these cars. Don't know how to drive them yet. This is my second race. This is only my second week even touching these cars. So yeah, I've got a lot to learn. I think I missed the pit box here. Yeah, by like a lot. So a lot of stuff to learn. But as far as it relates to the wheel itself, the wheel's not the problem. It's the nut behind it. Yeah, so good stuff there. So we'll just go ahead and roll over now to the... I believe this is qualifying, so we'll roll over a little bit early here, and so run out in 2 laps, and track wasn't exactly in the state we were hoping it was going to be in, and you'll see that I don't do great as far as the actual qualifying, but I also don't want to be right in the middle or close to the front just yet until I have more experience, because there's nothing like having a fast, inexperienced driver messing everybody's time up. But as you can see here, just kind of getting used to the feel of it. This is decent, but not great. Could have ran it out a little bit wider. I think this one, I kind of goof and have a big slide. And yeah, just not ideal there. You hear the revs kind of bog down. But overall, the feel of the wheel is really what we're interested in here. And right here, you see, I'm not really fighting the wheel too much. And then maybe that's part of my inexperience is, yeah, I should be doing a little more inputs there, but the wheel feels really balanced. I feel like I have good control. You see the splatter on the tear off there, and very easy to just reach over, hit that green button with my thumb. I don't know if I actually do it here or not, but yeah, it's super easy to hit all the buttons here. Everything's easy to reach. It's very comfortable in your hands. Having that wider stance on the wheel was nice because, like I mentioned in the other video, having that right shoulder, that's a little bit of an issue. Didn't have the issues I was having the week before. So yeah, that's qualifying done for me, and we can probably just go ahead and roll on over to the heat race. There's the end. Duncan Mechanic finishes up his lap. I think he finished around P4 in his heat.
Heat 2 to the grid. Heat 2 to the grid, please.
Heat 2 to the grid. That's my cue to get ready to do some driving. We're starting at the back of the pack. We did have the slowest overall qualifying time, which puts me at the very back of heat 2. And my main thing here is see that cool
All right,
Busch Light
folks,
trophy.
welcome to heat number 2. Leader, 1.5 car length behind the pace truck. Everybody else, once you get the one to go, going to ask you to tighten it up. Half car length between yourself, the car in front of you. Start is on green. Do not jump the start. Do not pass before the start-finish line.
All right, so typical.
Everyone headed to the feature. Got 8 laps here to battle for your position. Race hard, race clean. Good luck.
Yep, typical race instructions from Joe. He always keeps it real tight, real concise, real clean. So we'll do 2 laps around here behind the pace car. So just trying to get a kind of a feel, has the track changed any since practice and quali? Just kind of looking for the shiny spots that may have developed. Like I said, I always prefer to run the high line. Always nervous about smacking the inside wall and having an issue here. So starting in P8, and we'll see what we can get up to. Should be very interesting. Didn't have a ton of confidence, but definitely more confidence this week than last. Part of that is just, a little tiny bit more experience, but part of it I think is just holding that new gear in your hand. You feel like, okay, I'm gonna be able to do some stuff here. You notice the wheel offset way to the right. I did add some offset to it. I just felt a little more comfortable with some offset in the wheel instead of having it, straight up and down on the straight. So it'll be a little bit left. So I'll hold it almost all the way straight right here through the corners. And so that's what that offset does. It just kind of offsets it, 90 degree or, 4, 5, 6 degrees, whatever you want. I think I did 6 degrees of offset. Last week, I think it was 9. It might be a little bit much, but again, I'm still learning these cars and what works and what doesn't work. So it's a really good group. Proud to have a chance to race with these guys. So we'll see how we do here in the heat race. Be 8 laps of some dirt track action. And I'll kind of walk you through some of the stuff that I was thinking, feeling, and seeing. Hopefully we learn a little bit, and then next week we'll be able to do even better.
Green, green, green.
All right, green flag there. Automatically get a great jump on the 2 cars to my left. I got to watch this guy inside, though. So see me kind of lift and coast and then get back into it. I was a little worried about losing it on the first lap as that orange and blue car in front of me kind of dives up. Like he should. He should jump into the racing line. But I see him kind of losing the rear end a little bit. So I'm wanting to keep it close, want to keep it tight, but not so tight that I can't make a correction. So I go down low here because I see him going high, and I float back out to the outside. So I'm trying to do the opposite of what he does. Don't want to follow too closely behind him in case there's a mistake, and then I don't cause the accident, and I can attempt to avoid the accident. So same thing there. He goes high, I go low. We've left the other guy in the dust. He's way behind us. So we moved up to P7 already. He goes low, so we float out a little bit high, kind of run that middle line. Down the straight here, you notice that gap starting to form here, but at the same time, I'm not concerned about getting in the top 4. And here's the first accident of the night. So he loses it. So my whole thing was I wanted to make sure that I avoided all of that. And as you can see, by taking that little bit higher line, and I think having the new wheel where a small correction isn't going to send me violently jolting one way or the other. I think that having that bigger wheel, that's what it's, that's why you do that on dirt. So now we're up 2 spots from P8 to P6. If this was a normal race, only the top 4 would transfer. And so we're 2 spots back from what would be the transfer spot. So I decided I might try to get a little bit aggressive here. And not so much that we want to cause a yellow flag, but we're fully half a second back now from the top 5 and kind of watching our rear view to make sure that we're not going to let these guys catch up. Because the more they fight behind us, the better chance I have to maybe make up some of this gap. But my whole thing is I want to stay clean. And I'm watching the guy in P4 start to run that high line a little bit. I try to follow him out wide. Doesn't really work yet. There's still too much cushion there. Still a little too chunky. But I know we're going to need that later in the race. So I'm thinking I'm not going to move up in the top 4 anyway. We're definitely going to get through into the main or to the feature. So might as well just get out there and just get rid of some of this chunk and open that up for myself and my teammate early on. See if the 2 of us can make up a little bit of time. And as we come around here, we're going to finish up in P6. 1 more lap to go and no other real dramas. So better result than last week. Last week I just stayed in last the whole time until we crashed out in the feature. You'll see how the end of the feature goes this time. It's going to be a similar result, but here we go. 2 corners to go. Really, it's one big long sweeping corner, but it is corners 3 and 4. Ran a little bit wide, almost bumped the wall there, and that is going to be the checkered flag for us. And yeah, I'm happy, man. Made 2 spots there. Didn't think I was going to do that, and so from there we move on and we move into the feature.
You're on the outside this time. Pit road is closed right now.
So first thing I noticed when we get in here is I got 3 cars behind me. I am not in, actually 4, because I'm in P12 and there's 16 cars. So did well enough to jump a couple of cars in the main heat. You can see just off to the left there, Duncan Mechanics yellow W45 machine. So he's
All right, drivers, welcome to the feature. Got 30 laps to get it done. Your initial start is just like your heat races on the green flag. Do not jump the start. Do not pass before the start-finish line. Again, you got 30 laps to get it done. Race hard, race clean. Let's end this on a good note. Put on a heck of a show. Good luck.
all right. So there's Joe Halter once again, letting us know what we need to do and what we need to not do. You see these guys already running out wide there, trying to get rid of a little of that chunk. And I think, you know, I'm going to go out there and help them a little bit too, kind of break some of that up. Maybe we can slide some of that off within the first 4 or 5 laps of the race. Don't know if you saw it on screen or not. There it is. Making a little wing adjustment. One of the things Duncan and I were talking about is we wanted to make sure that we were stable through the beginning of the race and try to get through all the carnage. And so I'm letting him know on columns like, hey man, I'm not gonna run the 0 wing here. I'm gonna go -3.
Off a little bit. I'll let you know if it keeps up. Same with you, 45, Duncan. Both of you are blinking just a little bit.
So we go -3 on the wing here. You can't really see the movement there. What that does, it pushes that wing further back, moves the center of pressure, center of gravity back, and so a little more grip on the rear tires. Should help a little bit with exit. Again, I'm still learning about these cars. I don't know a whole heck of a lot about what they do or don't do, but so we're just going to try to get stuck in here. So we got 1 to green, I think it said. We're just kind of chatting, you know, talking about, hey, this guy was quick, you know, and you make sure that we keep an eye for this guy. And I'm letting him know first couple laps I'm going to run only the high line, just to try to avoid, you know, some of the carnage that happens in the low line. And we'll kind of see how that works out for us here in the first couple laps. But here we go, about to go green, and we'll just let the sim kind of breathe here for a minute.
Green flag, green flag.
The first thing we noticed, everyone was real hesitant to start. It was a real slow start. I had to check up twice, and that's not ideal when you're in a momentum-based race like this. You can get a slow start in some cars and some types of racing, but there's so much. And here's our first accident, and we managed to almost stay out of it. So Duncan Mechanic looked like he clipped the inside of the, and so we're tangled up here, me and this guy next to me, and trying to figure out what needs to happen. He can't move, I can't move, so I got to back out and let him loose. And then now he's able to go. Well, it looked like Duncan Mechanic clipped the inside of the fence there and slid up into a couple other people. And so, you know, 4 of us on lap 1, not the best. And so I don't have any way, I don't have a spotter working with me. I don't have anybody that can tell me, you know.
EOL.
So Duncan gets an EOL penalty there. He's going to have to drop to the back of the pack. But I have no idea what my damage is like. Duncan, you know, he's here waiting. He's got an EOL. And I'm like, go, dude, go.
Fuck, I missed the pit entrance.
Yeah, so you hear a guy miss the pin entrance there. I'm about to miss it. I see this guy miss it. Oh, I'm about to spin it going into the pit. So he stops and waits for me. Go in and trying to keep an eye and immediately speed right there. So we're 3 miles an hour over 4. And mentioned earlier how hard it is on the brakes on these cars. Now I don't really know what I'm doing. I have no idea how much damage I have. I might have been able to keep going. Don't know. So you see me just creeping up. And even then, still miss the pit box. So lots to learn here. But as far as the wheel itself, the wheel's been great. It's the driver that's the issue here. So I keep trying to figure out, you know, do I need to get a little bit more left? Do I just pull up some more? There we go. So finally good. They got my quick repair, and I'm sitting here waiting for a countdown. I forgot we got quick repairs, so able to pull out here, get ahead of the 51 car. So he's going to be, I think, done for the night. And black flag for speeding. So it'll be a post race. So EOL right there. So we're gonna hurry up and try to catch up to the back of the pack. And this isn't gonna be a very long race for us. We're not gonna have a whole lot more going on here. So we're on what, lap 3, something like that. We've already been in 1 accident and hope to avoid it. Just wasn't able to. But that's dirt track racing, man. Anything can happen anytime. It's very different for me. It's a brand new discipline. Been doing mostly open wheel, GT3, LMP2, Miatas, stuff like that. Stock car is something I want to get into, and I think the more you know about dirt racing, it seems like the better off you can be in stock cars. So I'm gonna start out with a little bit of dirt. Found a nice league that's very welcoming, inviting. You see Duncan Mechanic now behind us in that yellow 45, and I think he's gonna get us on the restart pretty easy here. and he mentioned how slow it seemed like everybody was starting. So same thing, guys in the middle. I want to run a little bit high. Don't want to run into him if he loses it here. So I'm watching. He goes low. I go high with these other two, but now I got to watch them because it looked like they're about to. And there it is. There's the touch I was waiting for. So I'm always real hesitant. Don't want to be caught in the middle of any of that. Let them hit each other. That's fine. Just don't let me hit you after you hit him. So making up a little time as these guys make mistakes. We're looking to maybe make up some spots here. Low car up high. That's going to be a spot for us potentially. Able to barely just stay out of that. Duncan gets in the middle of the back of him. So that's 2 more spots made up. It's another yellow flag, which is super unfortunate because it'd be nice to just be able to keep running for a while. But, you know, nobody's fault. These things happen. People slide.
Are you guys on lap 2 or 3?
Okay, so they're saying the yellow flag was already out when I drove by those guys that were stopped. So I'm not going to argue it. Just let the 114 by, and they'll probably fly into the pits. A lot of these guys I noticed were overtaking under the yellow just to jump into the pit box. So I think that's probably smart on their part. 114 does go into the pits. So
No, unfortunately not.
no wave rounds on these short tracks. No lucky dogs or whatever they call them in NASCAR. So we haven't got much more of a race here, but so far, main things I'm feeling is I feel more in control of the car. I'm actually in the race a little bit, somewhat. I was not last week. My arms aren't tired. My right shoulder's not tired like it was last week. So huge improvement there as far as the style of racing and how the wheel interacts. So I think overall that's a really positive thing. And so for me, it's worth it to have the round wheel.
7.9
It's just it's going to be a personal preference if you prefer, you know, the RS versus the CS and what your budget is. I would say if you can wait a little bit longer and you would like to have some extra features, the RS wheel is the way to go. But if you're looking to get into something and it needs a round wheel, or you're looking to get your first wheelbase,
Entering closed pits, but I had to for damage. I don't know what to do about it.
so CS wheel better for you there. But yeah, Duncan gets a black flag for going in the pits, but he had enough damage he had to pit. So I'm gonna try to get his black flag cleared here, and then we'll try to get this restart going. And
a closed pit.
yes, he did. And so Duncan couldn't hardly hear on comms.
Yeah,
So
sorry, closed pit. Yeah.
yeah, I have to relay everything
I
to him.
have
So that's
to
what that
write it.
delay is.
Thank you.
Get ready, going green.
All right, so here we go. Here's the restart.
The pace car is in.
And we're remembering, we're both
Do your job.
talking about, hey, these guys are slow on the restart. So don't just immediately punch it because you don't want to run in the back of anybody. And honestly, I think I check up a little bit too much here. You see that gap? I'm too far back. And then I'm nervous here, so I think I lift before I turn in. Yeah, I can hold that flat, but I was just nervous that something was going to happen up top there. But just want to stay kind of with the pack, but don't want to race them too hard on the restart because there's so many bad things that can happen here. So we're just kind of watching. These guys look like they're about to collect one another. The 320 car had a lot of hard time. I believe that's the orange and blue machine in front of me. So again, just watching. You look at that. There's 5 cars right there all bunched up. That's a ton of opportunity for mistakes to happen and wrecks to happen. And the main thing that I want to do is I want to stay out of as many wrecks as I can and certainly do my best to not cause one. And there it is. And we're going to see if we can avoid this one. Yeah, nothing doing there. There's nothing we could do there. Diving down to the inside, probably would have crashed into the wall. Trying to go outside. Guy held his brakes. That's what he's supposed to do. I tried to go outside. Duncan gets a spot from me. So this will be, we're going to do one more restart, and that'll be the end of our race.
The 320 and the 66, no EOL.
So guy just got loose. Other guy got into him. They called it a racing incident. It sounds like no EOLs. So again, Duncan and I are on comms, just talking about, you know, what can we do here? Can you see the front of my car? Does it look like I have damage? And he can't see any damage on his screen, looking in his rear view. So we're just gonna. He actually keys up there to ask me a question.
45.
And of course, he can't hear, so I've got to relay it to him, and he's got to let him know. So little things about being teammates and, you know, trying to help one another. Duncan and I have been racing together for a year and a couple months now. So
Can you repeat that?
You keyed up. I thought you were trying to say something to me, trying to get me to do something or something like that.
all right, so 2 to green. I think they're going to shorten the green here. Everybody's out.
No, I'm good. Sorry.
All good, bud.
All right, so I think they're going to shorten it here and give it 1 to green here because there's no real reason to keep us all out here. There's only, I think, 13 cars left at this point. And I think we're riding around in about P10. I had all that hidden because I didn't really want to be looking at that too much and wanted to make sure you guys could see the wheel during the race. You can kind of match, what I'm doing with the wheel to what's happening with the car. But yeah, this is always exciting, just running around behind the yellow flags.
One to
So,
go. Next time by.
so we can probably just go ahead and speed this up just a scotch here. We'll run this up.
Carries in.
There we go. Pace car's in. We're getting ready to go green. Again, same thing we were talking about earlier. You see I'm only like quarter throttle. I want to be careful on this restart. You see you got 2 cars behind me. One of them's Duncan. One of them's another guy. And yeah, Duncan gets a great jump on that dude. Gets a good jump on me. He's got the momentum. So I run high. I see he's down low. And I kind of start to lose it right here. So backed out, lost a little bit of revs. Well, here comes Duncan. He's going to go down my inside. I'm going to keep it out as wide as I can, give him the space. And when I do so, I think I let this other guy through. No, he's trying to look to my outside. Now I've got a huge decision to make. I'm nervous about running the inside line. I check way up and start to lose it there. That's where they get by. So the 2 of them get by, and here we go. This is about the end of our race here, because now we are all the way back in dead last, where I'm used to running anyway. We're just keeping an eye ahead, make sure there's no incidents, no crashes ahead of us. See if we can get a little bit of a run back, get back in this fight a little bit. And I noticed something happen ahead of me, not here. Yeah, we got, I think it's the next set of turns. You see Duncan's racing the guy in front of him real close. I can see everybody still, so I'm not feeling bad about myself. I feel like maybe I can start to catch him back up a little bit. And just still keeping an eye on those guys and just trying to push. And you see them start to tighten up a little bit. There's 3 of them right there. And I'm catching, not at a great rate, but they're working together well. Everything's going well so far. Still can see everybody. And I guess we got another lap or 2 that we make it. And so I'm just trying to run my best lines I can. Just trying to make up some time. Duncan's starting to get a little good run ahead. And then I believe this is where disaster strikes. Nope, 1 more lap. Now you see them all starting to bunch up there as the field gets tighter and tighter. And I'm pushing as much as I feel comfortable with right now without losing it. You see there, I start to lose the rear end. And is this where it happens? Yep. Nope. Duncan tries to go down the inside there, so he's got the run. He's about to make a move here, and so this is where the tight racing and it being on dirt, anything can happen. And I see it at the last second. There's Duncan. He rolls forward. I try to go behind him, and he stops. And that is it. That is the end of both of our race. We both. That's the 4th caution. And at this point, his car's jacked up. Mine's jacked up. We've used our quick repair, so both of us just call it quits there. And that's it. But that was my experience. My 2nd dirt track race. Had a ton of fun doing it. Yeah, can't wait to do it again. It's something different, and that was the big thing for me, was trying to do something cool, something different that I hadn't done before. Kind of expand myself. I've been talking about how I want to learn new disciplines, do different things that I've done before, and this dirt track experience has been great. We got 1 more race left, and then be season 2 around the corner. So that's it for this video. Please let me know what you think. Sorry the racing part was so long, but wanted to give you guys a real feel for what I went through, what I experienced in my first actual racing with the RS wheel. Very happy. I've never regretted any of my purchases from Moza or from Sim Motion, and highly recommend it all the way around. Appreciate you guys sticking around so long. Thank you for tuning in, and we will talk to you later.